Extra, extra, read all about it. It's time for another On Angel's Wings book and movie review. Now here's your host, JKCT. Hello everyone and welcome to On Angel's Wings book and movie review. I'm your host, JKCT. For those of you who are new to my YouTube channel, or maybe you're looking at this straight from the website itself, I'd like to welcome you. And this is an off branch of Lamb's Edition Ministries. We in Lamb's Edition Ministries believe in families, and we know that this day and time it can be very hard to find good, clean, wholesome entertainment for the whole family to watch. And so it's our hope at Lamb's Edition Ministries that On Angel's Wings will be a good resource for you to find that good, clean movie to have a good family night with your loved ones. So without further ado, let's get started. Today I'm going to review a new docudrama that's out called The Four Blood Moons. I don't know if you can see it there, but this is what the case looks like. And it is based on the best-selling book by Pastor John Hagee. I know a lot of people probably have heard and talked about the blood moons a lot, and you're probably hearing a lot of questions like, is this a sign from God? Does it really mean the world's about to end? Is it just a natural phenomenon? All of these things are covered in the DVD. But I'm not going to be talking so much about the prophecy aspect of the movie simply because, I don't want this to become a debate. This is not what On Angel's Wings was made for. It was made to show good, clean entertainment. And beyond that, I don't believe the Word of God is something to be argued over. We can sit and say, I'm right, you're wrong. We can sit there and say this means that or this means this all day long, but at the end of the day, the Bible will be right. It has always been right, and it will continue to be right long after we're all gone. So that being said, this DVD is chock full of prophetic content about the blood moons. So if you do like prophecy and you've been studying the blood moons, I would highly encourage you to check this DVD out. But anyway, moving on. You may be asking, if you're not going to talk about the prophecy aspect of it, what are you talking about? Well, I want to look at the historical aspect of it that I found throughout the whole movie. I found it to be very accurate and on point. The first thing it shows in the movie, everybody's been talking about how special these blood moons are. That 4 blood moons on all coming up on Jewish holy days, and this really isn't the first time that's happened. There are 3 other recorded times in history. The first was in 1493, the second was in 1949, and the third was in 1967. But what I want to look at is from 1493. During this time, many Jews were living in Spain, and Queen Isabella ordered an edict declaring that the Jews who wouldn't become Catholic were to be expelled from Spain. But sadly, many Jews were tortured to death instead for their faith. So to say that this was a time of great sorrow for the Jewish people would be a huge understatement. But one good thing, God turns every bad situation around, and He can make everything work out for good. And from this tragedy really arose hope for the Jewish people and for Christians as well, because from this came Christopher Columbus's voyage to America. Now you may be asking, well, JK, what does that have to do with anything? Well, I found this out both through the DVD and my own research after watching it. And unlike what most history books in our school system today tell us, it wasn't Queen Isabella who funded Columbus's voyage to the New World, but three influential Jewish men. Yeah, that's right. The Jews funded Columbus's voyage to America. There were three Marranos, and I really hope I'm saying that right, or if secret Jews, who wielded great influence in the Spanish court. It was Luis de Santiago, who was an important merchant of Valencia and the farmer of the royal taxes. His relative, Gabriel Sanchez, who was the royal treasurer, and their friend, the royal chamberlain, Juan Cabero. And I've looked these men up online, and I will post the things that I found in my own research so that you can see it for yourselves. But you see, Christopher Columbus wrote many letters to the Jewish people because the Jews were looking for a new homeland. And Columbus carried many Jews across to America. He helped the Jews. And many people believe that because he helped the Jews, that he was a Jew himself. Even the DVD talks about this. Now, whether that is completely accurate or not, I don't know. I didn't find much on that. But from this, we can see that if it wasn't for the Jewish people, if it wasn't for their need at that time, it's very possible that America would not have ever even been discovered. And you know, this wasn't, the DVD shows on there that this wasn't the only time Israel helped America. You know, during the Revolution, President Washington and his men ran out of money. And a Polish Jew and an American businessman by the name of Chaim Solomon, again, that's Chaim Solomon, raised millions of dollars and gave it to General Washington to help fund the revolution. These are things that I never even heard of in school. And I went to a Christian school. I mean, what are our schools teaching today that says that a queen that wanted all the Jews gone, that wanted them out, funded Columbus's voyage to America, and that Columbus was actually just looking for a new trade route to India? That was really what they show on the history books, or they did when I was in school. But when it comes to find out, if you look at his real writings, he was looking for a new homeland for the Jewish people. The Jews were asking for his help. They funded him going to America. And not only that, then when they get here to America, they help George Washington and all of the men fight the revolution. And there's several things that I found on that Chaim Solomon, and I'll post that on there as well. But these aren't the only stories that's on this DVD that show America's deep connection to Israel. You know, America was the one that stood up for Israel when they became a nation again. They're the ones that promoted Israel to be a state. But here we are years later with Israel being our best ally. And it seems, from what you see on the news today, that Israel is standing alone. America has fought for Israel and has helped Israel. During their 6-day war and during their fight for independence, America sent fighter planes over, sent an air force over to help them fight. And I believe it was the prime minister at that time, this is on the DVD as well, they said, called those men the very finger of God. God has used America to help Israel time and time again. And because we've helped Israel so much, we have been blessed. But one thing that this DVD points out, and I am very thankful for, it shows that unless we continue to be supporters of Israel, and unless we come back to the God that gave us this country, then we will fall. And that I do agree with. So in short, I believe the Four Blood Moons DVD to be very interesting, informative, both biblically and historically. I found it to be quite accurate. Like I said, I went on and I did research for myself, because I've always said on here on my podcasts and anything having to do with Lamb's Edition Ministries, we want to bring the truth, and we're not going to give you anything but the truth. So I've double checked everything. But beyond its accuracy, I also thought that the reenactments of the stories were told beautifully. It even got down to the original languages that the people spoke. I mean, they really went all out for this. The only downside that I even could find with this was that when they spoke in their native tongues, they didn't use subtitles to let you know what they were saying. Now, it is in English. People narrate it in English, but they don't translate what the people are saying in their foreign tongues. I don't know if this was just simply a feature they left out of the movie. It might be that you could turn it on in the bonus feature somewhere. I don't really know. If there is, I couldn't find it. And to top it off, the bonus features are chock full of good things as well. For those of you, like I said, that are real interested in the prophecy aspect of this and want to learn more about the blood moons, be sure and go into the bonus features. They have a panel discussion where John Hagee and all of the people that were on the DVD get together and talk about what they really think about the blood moons. There's a scientist on there that talks about how he thinks it is just a natural phenomenon, but most of them talk about the prophecy aspect, and it's really detailed and got a lot of good information. So with all that being said, I would give the Four Blood Moons a 5 out of 5 star rating, and would really encourage anybody with a love of history and prophecy, and if you really like documentaries, to certainly check this one out. Again, it's The Four Blood Moons by Pastor John Hagee, and this is a really good documentary. I'm not really much on documentaries myself. I've always been one that really likes more action films, but I really couldn't stop watching this one. I went through and watched it twice because it was so informative, and like I said, they really put a lot of detail into the reenactments. Had good action, good storyline to it in the reenactments, and I was real pleased with the way they handled this. So again, it's the Four Blood Moons. I'll post links in the description of where you can find it. It's available in Christian bookstores. I got this one. My grandmother ordered this one for me, but I saw it out at Martell's. So I would highly suggest check it out. And also, I'm hoping if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe for more great videos. I'm hoping to bring you a new On Angels Wings review every couple of weeks or so. We're also doing the podcast. Like I said, the Lamb's Edition podcast is part of Lamb's Edition Ministries. And if you want to hear those, I'm hoping to get a new one of those up to you within the next week or so. But if you'd like to hear the podcast or see some of the other great resources we have, please visit lambseditionministries.com. I'll put a link in the description. But if you'll go there, you'll find A lot of great stuff. And if you're new to Christianity and new to the family of God, it's got some really great resources. There's even a link to a church that you might could try, and I think you'll really enjoy it. Again, please like and subscribe for more great videos, and I'll catch you later. Bye.